G'day everybody, Dr. Craig here from Carolina Family Spine Center. Tonight we're talking our next workshop here in the month of May, and it's just passed, but we're still celebrating mothers here. Mother's Day is come and gone, but we're going to be talking about why it's so important to celebrate mothers. They brought us into this world, they need to be taken care of, particularly when they're bringing us into this world. So tonight's presentation is about every mother knows. It's about celebrating mums and pregnancy. So we can go through a couple of things in regards to how normal births are when it comes to a person who's not under chiropractic care versus someone who is under chiropractic care. What your birth plan is. A lot of the times that people come to our office, they have a plan for when they are pregnant, and it sometimes may include a chiropractor to begin with, it may not. But the biggest thing is that we're looking for a plan. How is the plan of attack going to be so that we're looking for the best possible birth of your child, and how we can support them throughout the process from growth and to come into this beautiful world. So tonight we're going to go through a couple of things. If you have any questions, just give us a yell and we'll get started, all right? So we're going to start off tonight with a little bit of fun, all right? We're going to play beer belly or baby bump. Can you tell the difference, all right? So I want you to have a look at these pictures and you tell me if you think this is a baby bump or if this is just someone who's had a couple too many, all right? So you tell me from this image just here, what do you think? Is this a mother doing yoga, or is this someone toppling over trying to catch himself with a big old beer gut? Anyone? Shy people out there. All right, this is a man with a beer gut. All right, just doing a little bit of yoga, but yeah, not pregnant at all. Okay, so next one here. All right, so do we think this is a beer belly, or we think this is a baby bump? Okay, good job. All right, a little bit easier. This is a baby bump. All right, I think it was the shower curtain in the background that gave it away. But all right, nice and easy. Last one, okay? Whoop. Beer belly or baby bump? Hopefully no one saw that. All right, okay. It is definitely beer belly, okay? All right, I'm not too sure if smoking would be any good for this person who's supposed to be pregnant, but yeah. But yeah, go from there. Oh, actually, sorry. That is the beer belly. Sorry, a pregnant belly. But yeah, so not too bad at all. All right. So the first question I want you all to ask is, what the heck am I talking about pregnancy for? All right. Why would this chiropractor from Australia be talking to you tonight about pregnancy? Why would this man even be talking to me about pregnancy? It's because of this little one right here. This is my baby girl, Cora. She is 8 months old, and she is the light of my life, along with my lovely fiance, Tiffany. Yeah, she is the joy. She is everything to me. She is the world. And the reason why I talk about pregnancy so passionately and why I care so much about chiropractic and pregnancy is because of this little girl right here, because I want her to grow up in a strong world where chiropractic care can support people through pregnancy, through term, and through pre and postnatal in order to support them. So it was really important for my partner, my now fiance Tiffany, to be under chiropractic care while she was pregnant. I made that pretty poignant to her. And if you ask her, I think it did help. And it helped her have a relatively easy process. When we say easy of pregnancy or in labor, I think that it really did give her the necessities and the tools in order to get through that. So this is why I'm talking to you about pregnancy, because I've seen it. I haven't experienced it, but this is my reason for talking to you about pregnancy. So my question to you all tonight is, what is needed for the perfect delivery? So if we sat there and we mapped out this amazing roadmap for us, okay? We've mapped out the ability to have the absolute perfect pregnancy from go to woe to get there. Most people come up with these things, right? No pain, all right? Quick, no emergency interventions, a face down baby. So obviously, coming towards the birth canal, possibly a home birth or a hospital birth. Really, the choice is yours. Maybe have a birthing team present, have your favorite meal ready. Note to self and to every other male out there, make sure you have her meal chosen before she goes into labor. I learned that lesson from a chiropractic friend of mine who didn't do that, and it was it was a bit of turmoil there. So get her favorite meal ready for post-delivery. Or perhaps maybe it's an epidural being used. It could be no drugs, maybe drugs have been being used. It's really the choice of each person in regards to what they need. So yeah, it's a question of what is a perfect delivery. The truth answer is there is none. There's no perfect delivery, all right? Each person is different, all right? Each person's got a different recipe of what they want, what they don't want, who they want in the room, who they don't want in the room, where people want to be, what sort of music they want playing. They want silence. They don't want nurses. They just want the doctor. They want the whole team around. They want to have photos of it. It's really your choice, but there is no perfect delivery. What we're looking for, though, within chiropractic care and pregnancy is to celebrate the fact that we can put you in the most optimal pregnancy. See the difference there? Optimal versus perfect. There's only ever been one perfect thing in this world. To me, it's the big man that lives upstairs. There's never been anything else more perfect. So we want to get to the most optimal. That's why I substitute the word perfect with optimal, because of the fact that we want to get to you to the point of where you have the best pregnancy, the most optimal pregnancy that can be there for it, to get you as close to that perfect delivery. Whatever the plan is, let's create the most optimal environment for you and the baby, pardon me. All right? That is the key when it comes to chiropractic care. All right? That's what the key is when it comes to obstetrics. It's the fact of having the most optimal environment for you and the baby. All right? That's one of the biggest things that chiropractic care tries to deliver is optimal environment, optimal potential that you have. Now, flashing forward to what I just said there, when it comes to obstetricians, there are 3 P's, all right? When it comes to dystocia, and dystocia means painful labor or hard labor or anything like that, or any association with those words. The 3 words that they use is power, passage, and passenger. Those are the 3 P's of obstetrics, okay? Power, passage, passenger. Now, they kind of relate, like you can kind of define them as they are, all right? And I'm going to break them down in regards to what they mean when it comes to obstetricians and then how chiropractic care can relate to that and how that rolls through. Power, all right? When it comes to the dystocia, as in painful labor or hard labor, power when it comes to obstetrician is the fact of abnormalities of the expulsive forces. Either the uterine force is insufficiently strong or inappropriately coordinated to dilate the cervix, aka uterine dysfunction. Okay? What that is saying is the power, literally the driving force, in order for the expulsive forces pushing the baby out are not there. All right? Uterine dysfunction is not there. They have been impacted somehow. Now that already relates to chiropractic care, because chiropractic care is all about getting the power of the body to work towards where it needs to be, that optimal potential, that optimal environment. Obstetricians are now talking about this here, where the power is not turned on. You might have heard a chiropractor tell you that before. The power isn't on. Or maybe after adjustment, power's on. The power is not working in its best potential right now. Okay? The passage. The abnormalities of the maternal bony pelvis, that is pelvis contraction. That's the passage, all right? Literally the birth canal. The passage is not correct. The passage is not in its most optimal potential. It's not in its most optimal environment, thus causing dystocia or painful labor or painful dysfunction of labor. Finally, the passenger. Abnormalities of presentation, position, or development of the fetus. The actual contents of delivery, which is the passenger, aka the baby, is not in the best position, presentation, or there is development of the fetus is not there. The 3 P's of obstetricians: power, passage, passenger. Now, funny thing on the way to the forum, all right? Chiropractic care is very similar. Chiropractic care has also 3 causes of dystocia too, all right? There is the physical, the chemical, and the emotional. So you had the 3 P's of obstetricians. In chiropractic care, we have the 3 T's, okay? 3 P's and 3 T's, and they kind of relate, all right? The first one is the traumas, all right? Or what I've listed as physical. A mother's center of gravity shifts and her posture compensates accordingly, increasing the lumbar curve and placing extra strain and force on the lumbar spinal joints. Lower back pain, first point of reference in regards to how mothers usually find chiropractic care because of the physical trauma that's going on. Their body is changing outwardly, all right, multiple directions, physically changing because of the fact that they have to carry a human. With that being the case, pelvic misalignment alters the pelvic opening and creates tension through the soft tissues which supports the uterus. The pelvis starts to misappropriate. It starts to get out of alignment because the uterus has to grow outwards and then the baby bump has to come in. So that's the physical side of it. All right, that's the traumas. Second is the toxins. All right, hormones release ligament laxity necessary for the birthing creates instability of all the joints, including the spine and the pelvis. This creates aggravation of previous injuries and amplifies pelvic imbalances. So typically during pregnancy, you're going to have a release of a hormone. That hormone is known as relaxin. Literally in the name, relax. Okay? Everything has to relax. It has to literally chill out in order for the body to then obviously grow outwards to then grow a human being inside. Okay? So there's a chemical aspect to it. All right? So there's the toxins part of it. Finally, there's the emotional part. Okay, that's the thoughts process. So like I said, 3 P's of obstetricians, you got 3 T's of chiropractic. Traumas, toxins, and thoughts. Fatigue, stress, worry, mood swings, anxiety all take a toll on the body and magnify into misalignments upon the body. So the thought processes that go on during pregnancy, all right? I'm sure I know when it came to my partner, okay, she had fatigue and stress and worry all the time. All right, so does her partner. I know I had those too. All right, but as someone who has, as Tiffany experienced, had the fatigue, had the worry, had the stresses that went on with a pregnancy, that causes those misalignments, that creates that misbalance. All right, so as you can see, the 3 P's of obstetricians is very similar to the 3 T's of chiropractic. They work hand in hand. Okay. All 3 of these can cause or combine, which may contribute to dystocia or difficult labor. All right, so all 3 of those, all 3, physical, chemical, and emotional, can have an effect to cause dystocia. Similarly, power, passage, passenger, and those abnormalities that were going on through obstetricians have an effect and can cause dystocia. So like I said, common medicine when it comes to the birth process is not too dissimilar to chiropractic care and the birthing process. All right? What would cause these 3 things to be impacting their optimal potential is a question I have for everybody. All right? It is the fight or flight. I keep going back to it. If you've ever been to one of my workshops or you've seen one of the videos online, we talk about the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. So I'll ask you that same question again before we start. What would cause these 3 things, those 3 things being the physical, the chemical, and emotional causes of dystocia and chiropractic, or the 3 P's, power, passage, passenger, to have abnormalities, what would cause those to be impacting the optimal potential of both the mother and the baby? It is the fight or flight and rest and digest responses. The sympathetic and the parasympathetic nervous systems being imbalanced. Now, for those that don't know, the sympathetic nervous system is an acute stress response to grave danger. The grizzly bear is released out of that door and I go, oh no, what do I do? Okay? All of a sudden my body knows exactly what to do. It shuts off all the unimportant stuff and gives all the blood and oxygen and all the attention to all the big stuff to help me get the heck out of here. Look after itself, all right? Heart rate increases, bronchial tubes in the lungs dilate, pupils dilate, muscles contract, saliva production is reduced, and your stomach drops. All its main functions of digestion. There's just a few of them, okay? It helps you get out of there. Get up and go. Fight or flight. Go and get. Because there's so much worry that's going on. The opposite of that is rest and digest, parasympathetic. It's the opposite. Saliva is increased, digestive enzymes are released, your heart rate drops, bronchial tubes constrict, muscles relax, pupils constrict, and urinary output increases. That is the rest and digest. It is the controlling balance, all right? Now, the biggest thing about what's happening when it comes to those 3 P's or 3 T's is when these 2 systems get out of balance. All right, they have a huge impact about what our nervous system can do, and thus the output of our other systems can have done to them or have affected by them. The problem today is that people are constantly stressed. They are always being in a fight or flight mode. If your body feels it is under constant attack, so your rest and digest system cannot kick in, it is stuck in a stress state. You think about that. If all the time we're worried about the grizzly bear, or all the time the grizzly bear is sitting in that back room waiting to come and attack us, that means our fight or flight, our sympathetic, our stress side is always elevated, always, which means that we are never coming back down to balance out the system by the opposite. It has to be balanced. It's a teeter-totter. All right? You cannot live in both states at the same time. You cannot be constantly stressed and relaxed at the same time. It just doesn't work. You have to have even balance. All right? Having some stress in your life is a good thing. It keeps things alert. It keeps you motivated. All right? It keeps you alert for things that are around you. But you have to come back down. You cannot be stressed all the time. And unfortunately, our world is stressed. And when we're in those stressful states, that's when the physical traumas kick in. That's when the chemical traumas kick in. That's when the emotional traumas kick in. Because our state is too elevated. It is too high. And we cannot get back down to a base level and create and keep homeostasis, keep balance. All right? When you're always in a state of fight or flight or defense mode, you're not living in a state of health, healing, and adaptability. It's like driving with the handbrake on. You can't do it. You just can't do it. Here's a question for you though. What if we could create the optimal birth plan? Not the perfect, the optimal birth plan. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? All right. Here is how we create the optimal birth plan. We combine the 3 P's and the 3 T's. And we put chiropractic care under it. All right. This quote is by a mentor of mine. Her name was Jeannie Ong. She unfortunately passed away a few years ago. She is the mother of prenatal and pediatric chiropractic. I was very, very lucky to learn Webster technique, which is the technique through chiropractic care that helps with prenatal patients. And I was very, very lucky to experience time with Jeannie. And she gave it a great quote: "Is birth is a cooperative endeavor where mum and baby play vitally connected roles." They have to. Mum to baby, baby to mum. Something that always hits me about that. Whenever I meet a patient who is pregnant, anyone that is pregnant, I let them know the fact that it's not just mum to baby, it's baby to mum. And mothers do know that too, but I think it's important that everybody hears that as well. So Jeannie said this, all right? It's the combination of the power, the passage, and the passenger, and how chiropractic care can create that optimal birth plan, all right? The power. The nervous system operates all body functions, including childbirth. For birth to proceed as it was designed, the nervous system must facilitate the transmission of information through the body. Removing imbalances and interferences to the nervous system, chiropractic care helps lead to a normal physiological birth. So if we go back to it, we're talking about the power, all right? When it comes to obstetricians, the power was talking about how there was an abnormality to the function of the expulsive forces from the body outwards, from the uterus to push the baby out. Chiropractic care is designed to take away interferences, all right? If the nervous system is pushing the power source, which is the brain, down towards the rest of the body, and the impact is the interferences are the misalignments of the spine, then chiropractic care is there to take it out, allowing the most optimal nerve flow, creating the most optimal birth plan, to remove the interferences and the imbalances of the body so that the power can get there and push baby out. Passage. With chiropractic care, muscles and ligaments of the pelvis and uterus are free to move and function for the benefit to the mother and the baby. Pelvic balance is optimized, allowing for maximum space and greater comfort. So we talked about it when it came to the passage part, all right, the actual birth canal, all right, abnormalities of the uterine canal. When it came to chiropractic care, we were talking about the fact of when it came to the chemical, it is the hormones being released, all right? Relaxed in your body, getting the pelvis to be aligned, all right? Getting the fact of the passageway, the birthing canal in the most optimal environment, the most stable environment for delivery. And finally, the passenger. The baby wants to get to the best possible position to descend through the birthing canal. The movements inherent to the birthing process can be positively supported when the mother's nervous system is optimally functioning and her pelvis is balanced. Now baby has the communication. Now baby has the most optimal environment. Baby has the most optimal potential to get out. We were talking before about the perfect birth plan, right? We said no emergency interventions, all right? getting the baby into the most optimal position, optimal environment, optimal potential to leave, to come into this world is key, so that none of that has to occur. All right? The optimal birth plan is possible. All right? Chiropractic care can help. Webster technique can help. It allows the body to be prepared, both mother and baby, to be prepared for the most wonderful thing in this world, which is to bring someone into this world with us. Okay? So some questions to ask yourself, okay? Is the spine and the nervous system essential for the optimal birth plan? Well, I think after we just broke everything down, I think it is, right? For the fact that the power source, which is the nervous system, all right, is encased by the spine. The spine looks after or encases the nervous system to make sure it's protected. So it's pretty important. What if nerves aren't firing properly for mum and baby? What if there was those misalignments, those subluxations that were going on that were impacting the nervous system? Then the power is not working properly. Then the passageway is not too clear. And the passenger doesn't know the best way to get in the right position in order for this to occur. What if we could track it to find out what both mum and baby need to execute this most optimal birthing plan? Cool thing is, guys, is that yes, it is. You may not be able to fight off stress or viruses or infections as well as you should. And the fact that we can change it. We can show you what's going on when it comes to our substation scans. Our substation scan is one of the coolest things that we've got here in our office, all right? It shows you insight, and that's why it's literally called the Insight Station, all right? But it allows us the ability to show you how we can track to execute this optimal birth plan. Let me show you how, okay? Insight has an HRV scan, okay? This heart rate variability scan it shows us the gold standard measurement of the heart rate, all right? It measures the overall impact of the built-up stresses on your body. So when I talked to you before about the fight and flight, rest and digest, this gives us that teeter-totter. It gives us that balance. It shows me that scan. Right? It shows me how well your nervous system is responding to both sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous systems. All right? What it's showing me is the fact that do you live in that sympathetic state? Do you live in that parasympathetic state? Or how good is your balance? What is your optimal variability? Again, I use that word optimal. Right? How do we get your body to get to the most optimal potential? And that's what the scan is all about. During pregnancy, you obviously can't x-ray. All right, so this is the best insight that we have in order to show how your body is dealing with things. All right, I'm going to show you an example to it. All right, this is a patient of mine. She is a 37-year-old female, and she just actually gave birth the other day, about a week ago actually, and she was undergoing chiropractic care during her second pregnancy. All right, now these were before scans. All right, 3 scans. Here is our HRV, our adaptability reserve. Here is our thermal balancing test. And here's our segmental EMG tension, all right? So think of it as tone of muscle, temperature of the body, and then overall adaptability of stresses scores or heart rate variability, okay? As you can see, the goal of when it comes to these HRVs is to put this little white dot here in the middle of the green section, okay? She was sitting at about a 75 to start with. Her thermal balance, which shows us the indifference of either side, based upon how well the body is coordinating the temperature of the body. Brief insight. Hippocrates is the common father of medicine. Okay, he used to take wet clay, smear it on people's backs. The faster it dries in a certain area, showed them where disease was. All right, this is kind of like the wet clay. All right, so kind of cool thing. What it is the fact that it shows me temperature imbalances in the body, mainly because of subluxations, misalignments of the bone. Finally, over here is the surface EMG, all right? She had a lot of dark reds down below and a lot of dark red and black up the top. That's where her sympathetic nervous system sits. Okay, sympathetic nervous system sits upstairs, downstairs. Okay, so scores of 75, 64, and 34. After rescanning her just before she went and gave birth, this is what we got. Score of 80 for her stress adaptability, so an increase after chiropractic care or during chiropractic care. Her thermal balancing went up to an 88, so it was 64, now an 88. As you can see, the temperature differentials are a lot better compared to where they were, let alone the colors. Surface EMG, 72, originally was 34. It's a huge jump in regards to it. You can see the color differentials and how much they've changed in regards to each side of it because of those removals of interference. This lady was going through a lot of changes, all right? She had a toddler who was under chiropractic care at the same time as holding a job with the county. It's a huge thing, the fact of her coming in, giving me the trust in regards to chiropractic care and how to help her get through this birthing process, all right? Being part of her optimal birth plan, all right? The key takeaway at the end of the night, guys, is the fact of what we want you to know is the fact that chiropractic care and pregnancy are hand in hand. All right. So we go back to when we say we're celebrating mothers. Our mothers brought us into this world. We wouldn't be here without our mothers. Okay. It's my celebration of chiropractic care, similarly through Geneom's vision, is to promote the fact of chiropractic care and pregnancy being linked together. As you can see, chiropractic care has so many things that are associated with common medicine through obstetricians, all right? But we have our own take upon it, all right? I'm not saying anyone's birth plan is right, wrong, in between, all right? All I want to have is the most optimal birth plan for every person that's coming into this world to support them. So my biggest part about taking away tonight is the fact of creating the most optimal environment for your pregnancy or for someone that you love's pregnancy to bring in that baby. All right? To allow them the opportunity to have the most optimal potential and optimal environment to come into this world. Babies are a beautiful thing. All right? I'm the happiest man in the world knowing that I'm a father to a beautiful baby girl. And for everything that's going on, it's my passion, my belief, my desire is to promote to the world the fact of how much chiropractic care can help when it comes to creating that optimal birth plan. Something I'd like to leave you with to take you away tonight is something I always say. You have to activate the power. All right? You can go a month without food. You can go days without water. You can go minutes without air. But you can't go 1 second without nerve supply. Nervous system coordinates everything. It's going to coordinate everything in regards to how well your body is functioning in day-to-day life, or when it goes through one of the most miraculous things that it can do, and it's bringing in new life to this world. I want to thank you all very much for coming tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you again for letting me have the opportunity. Please check out our YouTube, our Facebook, our Instagram for anything else that you need, or check out our website at cfspine.com. If there's any questions, I'll be hanging around, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon. And we'll see you next month to celebrate dads. Take care, guys.